Greetings, Brock Splash here with another vague comic review, and this one is Archie Comic issue number 165, or The Darkest Storm Part 3. Now, in the last issue where we left off, Mammoth Mogul managed to get the Sword of Acorns and the Crown of Acorns, making him extremely powerful. Not only that, he managed to sway Ixis Naugus over to his side. So Mammoth Mogul has not only the two powerful objects, but also a powerful wizard, and both minions from Destructix to the Arachnid Kids, which leaves Sonic and his friends in a really bad situation. Now in this issue, it continues, where Sonic and his friends are now fighting a losing battle, basically. They're getting overwhelmed. Sonic and King Elias try to go after Mammoth Mogul. So with some quick thinking, Sonic manages to get the crown of acorns off Mogul's head and place it on Elias's head because their reasoning is because Elias is the king, he can purge the darkness off the crown. That's not the case. Basically, when Sonic placed it on King Elias's head, there was a searing pain and dark magic seeped out of the crown and injured both Sonic and the king. And Mammoth Mogul explains that if Elias had been the one who helped create the crown, he probably would have managed to purge the darkness that Mogul put on it. But because it was his father who did it, it won't work that way. So they are in a really bad situation. And then who comes but, what's his name? The Paladin. He comes along and he challenges Mogul again to a battle. Whereas last issue, he was easily pushed aside while Mogul was fighting Ixis Naugus. But now he declares battle again. And Sonic is telling the horse, okay, cool, we'll fight Mogul one-on-one. But then Mogul uses some magic to create a rock fist and trap Sonic. So it's just the Paladin against an extremely powerful Mammoth Mogul. So they're fighting, and there's some context giving. The Paladin, Sir Connery, explains that the sword he has, it was given to him by the ancient walkers to purge dark magic across the planet. And Mogul is telling him that, well, the ancient walkers, they're dead. Mogul took care of them. And now he'll take care of Sir Connery, and get rid of him. And he's telling him that he's all alone. He can't do this. But Sir Connery isn't listening. He's telling Mogul he will defeat him, and he will use every last ounce of his strength. And what he does is really incredible. So he not only manages to stand up against Mammoth Mogul's Crown of Acorns and Sword of Acorns, but using every bit of life force he has, with the Sword of Light, he manages to destroy the Sword of Acorns and the Crown of Acorns. And with that, destroying the source of all, which he apologized for doing, but he had to, because Mammoth Mogul would have been unstoppable. Unfortunately, doing this, Sir Connery dies. He used his own life force to power up his sword, I believe. And in doing that, he also destroyed, I believe, the last, I would say, agent for the ancient walkers. Not followers, but the last warrior they had. So, unfortunately, Sonic and his friends can't mourn because Mogul is still active. He lost his powerful objects, but he still won the fight. Well, who comes but Eggman and his egg fleet? And he quickly dispatches of Mammoth Mogul and the bad guys. And Sonic was trying to figure out why would he do that. And Eggman bluntly explains Mammoth Mogul and Ixis Naugus were the dangerous ones here. He had to get rid of them quickly. But he tells Sonic they're not dead, they're back at his base. Now Sonic wants to fight Eggman, but Eggman tells him, you're weak, you're exhausted, I have a whole fleet behind me. And he basically tells Sonic he could take him out, but in his own terms, because that's how Eggman is with Sonic. So he leaves, and afterwards we get a time skip. I'm not sure how long, but Sonic and his friends are in a cemetery mourning for Sir Connery. And King Elias shows some fragility here, because he does not believe he's fit for a king, because he would not want to ask for anyone else to die under his name. But Sonic tells him that Sir Connery sacrificed his life to make sure they have a fighting chance. And he tells the king he has to stand up and fight too, otherwise, well, the bad guys will win. King Elias is inspired by this and tells Sonic, he's right. They have to keep fighting. Now, the scene transitions over to Eggman, who's watching all of the bad guys he had taken. They're all in large, separate bubbles, which are called egg grapes. That's used to sort of siphon off their life energy and eventually kill them. But the computer, Adam, tells Eggman that Mogul has everyone in some sort of shield to prevent them from dying. Eggman's not worried though. He said eventually he'll be too weak and they'll die. Now, when he leaves, Adam keeps talking and tells Eggman that yes, because it basically tells you that Adam is anonymous, and you see a picture of an outline on the screen of what looks like Robotnik, telling Eggman that soon he and Sonic will be destroyed. Now, at the time of reading this was surprising for me, because there were hints that, oh, Robotnik's coming back, or that Adam is Robotnik the entire time. How is this possible? Well, remember, I guess you can't. This Eggman is technically not this Sonic's version of Eggman. The original Robotnik for this universe died long ago. And a different Robotnik from another universe came here and basically became the new Robotnik, who in turn became Eggman. It's confusing then, it's still confusing kind of now to wrap my head around, but at the time my thinking was, okay, so Robotnik came back as a computer program and is going to try to take over again. Well, you'll see what. Well, most likely this was years ago, but it did not become that. It became something different. But at the moment, this comic ended in a dreary note. The good guys it did not feel like a victory for the good guys. They defeated Mogul, but they lost Sir Connery. The two weapons, the crown of acorns and the sword of acorns, that would have helped the king, they're now destroyed, meaning the source of all, which is, I believe, the byproduct, the power source for the universe, that's gone for good. The last two items were destroyed, and the pure substance that was in the castle has been destroyed, so they have to move on. The ancient walkers are killed off, so they can't, as Sonic said, who else can they turn to for Deus Ex Machina, because the ancient walkers would just randomly help out. Yeah, it's a pretty heavy chapter. Not really much of a happy ending, but sometimes Archie Sonic ended that way. Anything else to go by? The artwork wasn't bad. The coloring was good. Sometimes, though, when the characters are drawn from far away, they look really weird. But this is James Fry artwork, and it's not bad. Now, I've listened to a lot of Bumblecast, and the writer Ian Flynn explained that the reason why he killed off Sir Connery is because, well, he was kind of a nothing character. He appeared once in the Knuckles issue a while ago, claimed he was a soldier for the Ancient Walkers to purge evil from the planet, and he was never seen or heard from again. And you would think that a horse who is strong and destroyed evil, why wouldn't he come around and help out against Eggman or Ixis Naugus? And there was context explained. Sir Paladin said that he was smiting evil around the whole planet. By smiting, basically he kills them. But he was too busy doing that. He came for this, and I guess, as Flynn explained, there was really no character behind Sir Connery. So he tried to put some weight behind the character. He killed him off, but in a way where Mammoth Mogul was practically unstoppable. No one could do it. So Sir Connery sacrificed his life, and yeah, it worked. I mean, it made me think about Sir Connery more under a better light. Before, I just thought he was a weird guy with a sword. Now, he sacrificed his life, and he held no regrets. But this only mattered if you read every single issue. If not, is just a random character that showed up and then died. Either or, it would have been fine for a new or old read. I'm not sure if you noticed, but Ian Flynn, he's been trying to. Things that happened in the past, he's bringing it into the light. Such as, like I said, Sir Paladin was in one issue. You never saw him again. Ian Flynn brought him back. But you also I noticed that he's also been killing off systematically characters left and right. And I think it's because he's trying to organize the chaotic mess and world that is Archie Sonic. It had good stories, but because of different writers coming into this comic, there are plot points that happened, didn't happen, were left off, forgotten. Characters were out of place in one issue. So that's him trying to kind of explain it away. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in the end, it's still an enjoyable read. Yeah, so that's it for The Darkest Storm Part 3. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening, and